I'm just waiting for it to happen.
You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. It's harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. This is Throw Smiley, and I know a few techniques that can help you manage that anger very effectively. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I guess I have a little more kick than you were looking for.
I'm Brian Lesh, and like the Hulk, I was named by an innocent bystander.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'm going with a completely different origin story this time.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. This is the podcast where we watch every theatrically released live action full-length superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Agnes Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. And I would just like to mention, we are live streaming this on YouTube. Yes, you can watch us do this live every Sunday morning. Check your local listings to find out the time in your time zone. There's no local listings.
We pay a lot to be in the TV guide.
We're in the top 4 shows.
That stream on YouTube and are listed in the TV guide.
Yep.
We're the only 4 people that know TV guide is still being printed. But you can head over there. Make sure you like us, make sure you subscribe to us, and leave us a review if you're listening to this in podcast form on your podcast listening app of choice, whether it be iTunes or Podcast Addict or what have you. We'd appreciate it. It'll help other people find us. And we'll send some good thoughts out your way because that's all we got is good thoughts. So that brings us to our show this week. This week, the movie we are watching is The Incredible Hulk.
I've got a problem. There are aspects of my personality that I can't control.
See a shrink?
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Bruce, trust me when I tell you I've heard them all.
Not this one.
We've never seen anything even close to your levels of exposure. That you survived an event like that, it's beyond my comprehension.
I don't want to control it. I want to get rid of it.
As far as I'm concerned, that man's whole body is property of the U.S. Army.
They want it as a weapon. If we let it go, we will never get it back.
What the hell was that?
There's only one thing that can fight that. It's in me.
Maybe if I can control it, I can use it.
All right, The Incredible Hulk, released June 13th.
In that trailer that did not make it into the movie.
Yeah, I was surprised actually watching the trailer after watching the movie how many scenes there were that weren't actually. Because at no point did Phil Dunphy and Bruce Banner talk in the actual film.
Oh, you're right. They didn't share a scene. That's true.
He just stole his lady and they left town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. That's why we have a podcast.
Okay, huh.
But
I
yeah.
just watch the trailer and go home.
Yeah, we're done. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Watch 4 Guys Watch the Trailer.
That's our new YouTube channel. 4 Guys Watching a Trailer. To be fair, there's dumber YouTube channels.
Hell yeah.
This movie was released June 13th, 2008. The second entry into the MCU. It has a running time of 112 minutes, budget of $150 million, and it made $264. So wasn't exactly a failure, but not great by MCU standards.
Yeah, we weren't quite there yet. I mean, I know I was excited to see it and went, but yeah.
Yeah, I was excited for it at the time, but it definitely wasn't. This movie's weird. It's got one foot in like 2000s style, like Daredevil,
Yeah, that
like
level.
X-Men, like that kind of stuff, and then one foot in the MCU, and it's a really weird hybrid movie.
Hmm.
It's also got a third foot in the 70s TV show.
It does.
That's true.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
numerous direct references to it.
Right, more than. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could toss off a few right now that aren't really plot relevant. None of them really are plot relevant, but like there's little things like in the beginning when he's in that machine, that's an exact that the shot in the machine is designed after the shot in the machine from the beginning of Incredible Hulk TV show.
Okay.
Bill Bixby obviously has a cameo from what is it? My Dad, Eddie. What is it? Courtship of Eddie's Father.
Courtship of Eddie's Father. Yeah.
That's right. That's playing. There's they actually used the Incredible Hulk theme song at one point.
Yeah.
The really sad piano.
The Lonely Man
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When David Banner was wandering.
Yeah. So yeah, they throw out a lot of Easter eggs for you for
Lou Ferrigno, of course.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno, and well, okay, we'll get to that, but in the casting, but yeah, he didn't just have a cameo. He was actually much more involved in this. But we'll get that shortly. First, we have a few things to take care of, guys. We need to talk about a little something called the Box Office Top 10 Game.
Yes.
Here it is, coming at you, folks. This is the game where every week we count down the top 10 movies in the nation for the week this movie opened, which is June 13th, 2008. The guys try to guess where this opened, and they also try to guess what movie I'm describing when I describe it to them, using only the Box Office Mojo description, leaving out important proper nouns as need be. Folks, we need you all to guess where you think this opened. Brian, you don't go first often, or at least that's how I remember it. So why don't you go first this time?
Number 2.
Brian says 2. Al, coming at you.
Oh, dang. That leaves me in a hard spot because I was going to go with number 2. How long ago did Iron Man open up?
Iron Man was like about 2 months prior.
2 months, wow.
Okay. A month to 2 months.
Huh? Because yeah, I was thinking if they were too close together, then Iron Man would still be number 1. I think people were still a little hesitant about this movie because of the first Hulk. Didn't know what to expect. Could it have pushed its way to number 1? I don't know. Number 3.
Number 3. I love hearing Al's inner monologue out loud.
I do too.
I just want that on tape. Josh,
Brian's?
Brian said 2. Al said 1.
No, I said 3.
He said 3.
Oh, you said 3? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say
3.
Oh, well, first of all, we could, not that it matters a single bit, but we can guess in the order that we ranked in the top 4 in the future. One. Number 1.
Okay, Josh is 1. So we got 2, 3, and 1. And here we go, guys. Let's dive into the top 10. Number 10 for the week of June 13th, 2008. A man and a woman are compelled for legal reasons to live life as a couple for a limited period of time. At stake is a large amount of money.
Wow.
That description was so specific.
It's like a Waspy Brewster's Millions. They have to just they have to stay together for a while.
For a limited period of time.
Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston with the piece of tape across the room? No?
No, it's not that one, but it's kind of that same thing. It's Cameron Diaz and Ashton Kutcher.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That made
exactly.
my stomach hurt. Okay.
The tagline for the movie was "Get Lucky." That helped nobody.
Gross. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
It's called
Double.
What? Oh, go ahead, Josh.
No, I was gonna say The Boss's Daughter. I think he was in
Nah.
that or something.
Oh, yeah. No, it's called What Happens in Vegas.
Oh.
Huh.
An entire movie written and produced based around an advertising slogan.
What happens in Vegas stays in Cameron Diaz. I'm so sorry. There are no points awarded. Actually, we all get 10 points for not seeing that movie. Coming in at number 9. Oh boy. A group of siblings return to a land where they are enlisted to once again help ward off an evil and restore the rightful heir to the land's throne.
This is the second Chronicles of Narnia.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, yes?
Yeah, it 100% is.
The
I
Lion,
thought it
the
was
Witch,
that-
and the Wardrobe?
That's the
No,
first one.
that was the
That's
first
Prince
one.
Caspian.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is Prince Caspian.
Prince
I thought it
Caspian.
because there was last week there was some movie that sounded like the Chronicles of Narnia, but it was something completely different.
Yeah.
This was
It
the
was-
late 2000s. Every third movie sounded like the Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to recapture that Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Right.
money.
Literature.
I was talking about the Narnia movies with Jude yesterday, and how like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was trying so hard to be Lord of the Rings with
Yeah.
like the giant sweeping battles and everything, and that's not what that book was at all.
No.
I don't know about you guys. I read those books a lot as a kid, like 3-4 times through, personally. But I was extremely disappointed with the film adaptations.
I read them in grade school, yeah, and I only saw the first one. I was really excited for Liam Neeson to be the voice.
Sure, of Lion Jesus.
Aslan. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an animated version when I was a kid that I particularly enjoyed.
Yeah, I
On
remember that one.
PBS, I think.
Yeah,
The books never really grabbed me.
I was a big fan. The best one, hot take of the week, best Narnia book, A Horse and His Boy. Fight me
Really?
on Twitter. Yeah.
All right. A horse and his boy.
I can't tell if you legitimately have an opinion about that, Josh, or just doing a bit.
I don't have an opinion. Go ahead.
Coming in at number 8, a young couple staying in an isolated vacation home are terrorized by 3 unknown assailants.
The Strangers
Yo, yes, indeed.
with
so
Liv Tyler as well.
Oh, she was in that. Yeah. Huh. She had a big week.
She did.
Not since she wore a schoolgirl outfit for her dad.
Yep.
Here's Arwen. She's
Oh,
got
yeah.
other things happening.
No, she was Arwen. She was in Armageddon. You know, she did stuff. So, Josh, you get 5 points for The Strangers because that's the number that I just saw on my phone screen. And for the Narnia thing, everybody gets 4 points because it was a group effort. Like Al guessed Caspian, you guessed Narnia too. Josh stayed
I know.
silent, so he gets something for that. Yeah,
We all win a lion's pelt.
an alliance. Oh. Coming in at number 7. Oh boy. After being held captive, an eccentric billionaire creates a unique invention.
Wow.
Iron
So
Man.
Al was right. Yeah.
What'd you say, Al?
Iron Man.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Iron Man still on the charts.
I would think so. 2 months
yeah,
earlier.
one of the biggest movies of the year. I'm wondering how often since Iron Man there's been multiple MCU movies like out at the same time, still in theaters.
That's a
I feel
good
like
question.
not often because there's like a 3-month window at this point. Or well, now there's like a no window because it's 2021. But up
Right.
until about a year ago, there was like a 3-month window that things were in theaters.
I feel like one of the Guardians movies either came out on the tail end of something or shortly before.
Oh, Or like Guardians and Ant-Man out at the same time, something like that.
I think Age of
Guardians
Ultron and then Guardians, I think, right? Wasn't that
Yeah,
the order?
that sounds right.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, sometime over the next few months, we'll find out.
that's
Yeah,
true.
we'll know for sure. We'll let you guys know.
Um,
Well, I think the reason for that is because this is a different production company, right? Than
Yeah.
Marvel itself.
Oh, that
Well,
explains
no.
some things.
Marvel made it, but it was distributed by what was it?
Universal.
Columbia? Universal.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
This could have hobbled the MCU. I mean, this was the second foray, and it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not good. This could have really brought the Empire down before it even started.
If Iron Man hadn't been such a home run,
Right.
Iron Man was such a hard swing and a hard home run that it trumped this being pretty mediocre.
I wonder how much they paid. Well,
yeah,
just for Mark Ruffalo, for Ed Norton to play
Norton.
that role.
Yeah,
Because he's probably very expensive at this point,
Well, and he wasn't. We'll get there, but he wasn't just an actor either.
Yeah.
right.
So
He did all the music and set design.
Yeah, he was makeup.
But yeah, they didn't have the crossover success yet, so it could have turned people off. But yeah, it was shortly after that, like, everyone's sister and grandma and uncle knows characters from the MCU. So this could have blown it up.
I mean, there was a point. I mean, 2012 really was the year it broke free.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so coming in at number 6, a New York writer is finally getting married, but her 3 best friends must console her after one of them inadvertently leads her would-be husband to jilt her at the altar.
Sex and the City?
Yes, indeed, Al.
God damn, all the points.
And you get sex in the points.
Dope.
Maybe just the points.
No, we won't tell you who the sex is with.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
That's the fun.
Oh, wait. So there's 4 of us. There were 4 of them. All right. So which ones are we? Who's
I don't know.
Watched the show enough to know.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm the like gross ratchet one. What's her name? Kim Cattrall.
Samantha? Here's the Samantha.
Yeah, that's me.
I know all 4 of them. My wife was a big fan, so I've seen quite a few peripherally.
You don't have to explain yourself.
Okay.
Well, you do all the work for us, so I think you're Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh,
that's true.
I am half horse. That's terrible. She's a lovely woman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Al is definitely the Miranda.
I don't know what that means, but that was so
because she's a lawyer.
Funny to hear. Oh,
and Al is well spoken.
She's the smart angel.
I don't know what that means, but yeah. Which leaves the one that was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl as Brian.
Heck yeah.
Cynthia Nixon? Is that that?
No, Cynthia Nixon was Al. The other one, the one that was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, the mousy one.
Yeah, what's her face? I can't remember her name.
I mean,
what are we talking? What's his face? No, I'm thinking of Sky High. I don't remember the characters from this movie.
Yeah.
From Sex and the City?
Or from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It seems so far back in the past at this point.
Sex and the Lava Girl.
Shark
Boy.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Sex in the City.
I'm just in the city. Yeah.
Kristen Davis was her name.
Kristen Davis, yes.
Say it. Say her name.
Charlotte.
She loved her. Oh, Charlotte.
Her name was Kristen Davis.
So I guess I'm Charlotte.
Yeah, that's the thick and thin of it.
Coming in at number 5 this week. Halfway through this thing, guys. In 1957, an archaeologist is called back into action and becomes entangled in a Soviet plot to uncover secrets behind mysterious artifacts.
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost, Al.
Oh, the
Kingdom.
Of the Crystal Skull.
secret.
The Kingdom.
Oh,
The Kingdom.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, Al, you get 7 points. Josh, you get 3 points, and we all get a Crystal Skull from Dan Aykroyd.
And Gene Siskel because I had Karen Allen.
That's
and,
right.
And Le Bouffe.
Jal LaBeouf.
He's a French Canadian lumberjack to me. Le Bouffe.
I'm pretty sure to himself too in his internal
sounds
monologue.
like it. Sounds like it.
Oh God, this movie. Okay, coming in at number 4. An Israeli special forces soldier fakes his death so he can reemerge in New York City. I'll finish that sentence after I hear some guesses.
No, never mess with the Zohan.
Yes, I was not expecting you to get that. Oh my God,
Wow.
Ryan.
I was
Adam
thinking that
Sandler.
like Eric Bana Israeli team at the Olympics when I can't remember what that was called. That was an
that was a
intense
good
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The hostage one, yeah.
that was Spielberg, wasn't it?
Yes, and based
Yeah.
on a true story, of course.
Wow. Yeah, you get like 47 points, one for each one of Adam Sandler's movies that he's made for Netflix.
And a hairdryer.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Coming in at number 3, oh lordy. A science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
Whoa, bummer.
This movie stars Mac Wahlberg and is
It's
directed.
The Happening?
Yes,
The Happening.
The Happening.
The Happening is happening.
the trees are gonna get us.
That's when my like frustration with M. Night Shyamalan went to anger.
Oh yeah, no, that's the movie that tipped him from being
Quirky.
an uneven auteur into like a flat out like hack. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I didn't see this movie. So the plague makes them kill themselves?
The trees make people commit suicide. Plants and trees make people commit suicide.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg is the one in the middle of all this, and Marky from Boston, not Mark Wahlberg, is equally disgusted and bored with the plot of this movie. It's terrible.
It's one of the worst movies I have ever seen, period.
Period.
What
and
year
he's
was
a
this?
science teacher. Mark Wahlberg's your science teacher.
And he followed this movie up with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't seen that either, but I've heard terrible things. Oh,
It's a
08. This might
mystery.
go on my 08 list just because it sounds awful, and I like when we watch awful
Oh,
movies.
it's crazy. And it might, I think it's a good candidate when we get up to 08. Oh, which reminds me, we have our winner for our monthly movie, everybody, for February.
Oh, we should do that at the
winner.
end.
We'll do it at the end. I mean, if you want.
Reveal.
So, all right, coming in at number 2, the Dragon Warrior has to clash against the savage Tai Lung as China's fate hangs in the balance. However, the Dragon Warrior mantle is supposedly mistaken to be bestowed upon someone who is a novice in martial arts.
Monkey.
Like Drunken
Style.
Master or something? I don't even know.
Right. It sounds like one of the...
This sounds like our
Like
what was it called?
Oh,
The Trauma movie.
The Trauma? Oh.
Kabuki Man.
Kabuki Man?
It sounds like Sergeant Kabuki Man.
It does sound similar.
It does.
This
No,
was
it's not,
Dragonheart?
No. This is animated,
Oh.
starring Jack Black.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda, yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah. And coming in at number 1 this week, Bruce Banner, a scientist on the run from the U.S. government, must find a cure for the monster he turns into whenever he loses his temper.
Not the government, one guy.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! That is a very good point. Yeah, so it did. It had hit number 1. It wasn't a flop. It did fine.
Not surprising.
Niche. It did okay. So yeah. That is our box office top 10 for the week. That brings us to our comics and character background. We discussed most of this when we did Ang Lee's Hulk from 2003. Go back and look through our older episodes to listen to that one. It was a lot of fun. But Al, do you have anything new to tell us about the comics and character background this week?
I do. I've got 3 new characters to talk about. Real quick, I wanted to talk. Before that, I wanted to talk about the Incredible Hulk animated series. I don't know how much we delved into that last time. I forget.
When did that run?
That was from 2006 to 2008,
Okay.
which surprised me because I could have sworn that I watched this when I was in high school, but I was in college at the time.
All right.
But so in preparation for this, because this movie wasn't on Disney Plus, but the Incredible Hulk cartoon was, so I ended up watching like 7 or 8 episodes. It ran for 21 episodes. Lou Ferrigno was the voice of the Hulk in that.
Cool.
Neil McDonough was Bruce Banner, and we're going to see him as Timothy Dum Dum Dugan in the MCU.
That's cool.
He was a Howling Commando.
Yeah. And most recently in my viewing, he's been recurring character Damien Dark in the Arrowverse.
In your viewing?
Yeah, in my viewing.
Yeah, no.
Experience.
I like to picture being a show only you can see.
Fantastic in Band of Brothers too. Yeah. That's where I know him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
We had John Vernon as General Ross. He was the dean from Animal House.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill as Gargoyle, a reluctant servant of the leader. Luke Perry as Rick Jones, whose motorcycle antics created the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Who? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Al.
All right.
Yeah.
Matt Frewer as the leader.
Mm.
Robert Hayes did an episode as Iron Man / Tony Stark.
He's from Airplane.
That's right? That Robert Hayes. Richard Grieco was the Ghost Rider in an episode.
The Grieco.
Wow. This one really surprised me. Kathy Ireland played Ogress for 5 episodes.
Get us Kathy Ireland. Okay.
And Maurice LaMarche as Doctor Strange.
Nice.
Maurice.
And there were a couple of times when he's talking to his journal. I don't know, but he
did in
refers
the
to
show. I think, right?
He refers to himself as Dr. Robert Bruce Banner, reflecting on the mistake that Stan Lee made way back in the day when he mistakenly called him Bob Banner, and they had to retroactively change his name to Robert Bruce Banner.
It could have just been something he missaid.
No.
Well, that's not how Marvel does it. It becomes a no prize at some point if you do that, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He put it in
Canon.
print.
It's
All right.
You know, Marvel and Star Wars are so similar in that George Lucas does something half-assed, like just one-off thing that like means nothing, and suddenly you have like 3 like novels about it.
Right, you have to incorporate it in. Yeah.
You know, we all remember the Bosk and Dengar books.
Oh lordy.
We all do.
Anyways, Al.
Moving on to new characters that we see in this film. First, we've got Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. Created by Stan Lee and artist Gil Kane, first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 90, April of 1967.
Wow, been around that long.
Yeah. Stan Lee chose the name The Abomination because he realized it hadn't been used yet.
I bet all sorts of names hadn't been used yet back then.
Yeah.
He found each one.
But he chose the name before coming up with the character background or his appearance. He just came up with the name. He went to Gil Kane and told him to make him bigger and stronger than the Hulk, and we'll have a lot of fun with him.
Gil Kane is awesome. Yeah, sorry. Just throwing that up.
So, Emil Blonsky was introduced as a KGB agent who deliberately exposed himself to a greater quantity of gamma radiation than that to which Bruce Banner was initially exposed. He did this using a machine which Banner was planning to use to commit suicide.
Whoa.
He became a large, scaly humanoid, even stronger than the Hulk, and defeated Hulk in their first battle.
That checks out.
Yeah. The Abomination is similar to the Hulk in his strength, stamina, speed, durability, and regenerative powers. Unlike
And their views on the environment.
Unlike the Hulk, he retained his intellect after transforming, and he cannot change back to human form.
So he's a talkie drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a trade-off. Okay.
He has gills and can breathe underwater, and he can enter a state of suspended animation when deprived of oxygen for long periods of time.
All right.
Yeah. That's called passing out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in the comics, he looks like a bat. He's got big bat ears, like on his face.
Yes, you're right. He does.
Those
like
winged.
Yeah.
Kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon, almost.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
Or dragon-like. Anyway. His strength does not increase in proportion to his level of anger.
Oh, that's helpful.
Well, that's how the Hulk would be able to beat him in the future, because the Hulk gets stronger when he gets angrier. So in a suspended fight, the Hulk would ultimately win.
That's what I mean. It's a great choice. If they both had that ability, it would never end.
Yeah.
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 Which actually makes the end of this movie make a little bit more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The character of the Abomination would develop over the years, shifting from savage brute to master schemer to tortured soul to repentant villain and occasional defender of the weak. And I think he ran for dog catcher at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say to America's sweetheart.
I've been a pauper, a peasant, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king.
Around the time of this movie's production, comics Abomination was killed in battle by Red Hulk.
Ooh.
Later, he would be resurrected with the ability to project hellfire. Then a cloned Abomination would have the ability to track the Hulk and the power of gamma manipulation.
Wait. So could he do stuff to the Hulk, like through the gamma manipulation, like take away his gamma powers?
Yes or no. Yeah, I don't know. But he could.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Those are literally the three options. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I don't know.
Pick one. But he could like project gamma or gamma radiation, and it would harm. See, the Hulk would normally be able to absorb gamma radiation, but like Abomination was able to throw so much at him that it actually hurt him or something like that. That's what I read. Never read those comics. There was a character called A-Bomb, which is what I started calling Abomination like halfway through. When I, instead of writing Abomination, I just wrote A-Bomb.
When you get that close to him, then he lets you do that.
When you're in the entourage.
That was actually Rick Jones, who at some point after the death of the original Abomination, like inexplicably turned into this creature that looked like Abomination but had like a metal skin, metal shell, or something like that. Didn't look a ton into that because
he's not in this movie.
Yeah.
Wow. So Rick Jones finally turned into a monster. That's curious.
Similar to Rick James.
That's right. Yeah.
Moving on to Samuel Stearns. Created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 62, December of 1964. Stearns worked as a janitor in a Boise, Idaho chemical plant. He was not a scientist. Stearns is bombarded with gamma radiation during an explosion of radioactive materials. He is mutated into a green-skinned, super-intelligent entity with an oversized brain and cranium.
Leader. No.
He calls himself the leader, so says the leader,
So says he.
and embarks on a career of crime, creating artificial henchmen known as the humanoids.
They're also a prog rock band.
Yeah.
The humanoid.
Pardon me. Despite his genius-level intellect, the leader is repeatedly foiled by the Hulk.
Aren't they always?
Yep. So we're proving that it's brawn over brains.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, I've got way more on Dr. Leonard Samson than this movie deserves. But
who played Samson in the?
Who's Dr. Leonard Samson?
Phil Dunphy.
Oh,
whoa! He becomes
I didn't even put that together.
in the comics. Samson has green hair, right? And is like
Yeah.
super muscular, like Hercules and those.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Phil
Phil
Dunphy.
Dunphy.
Since the character name shows up here, I thought I'd throw it out since he doesn't show up anywhere else in any of the movies so far. Dr. Leonard Samson, created by writer Roy Thomas and artist Herb Trimp, or Trimpy, whatever, first appeared in Incredible Hulk number 141, July of 1971. He was born Leonard Skavorsky Jr. As an adult, he was a college professor and psychiatrist. He worked with Banner in trying to cure his Hulkism.
His Hulkamania.
Yeah.
I used the phrase Hulkism in my notes thinking it was funny, but apparently it's just a thing.
Well,
It's a condition. It's no joke.
I made it up myself.
Oh,
it was
parallel
you
thinking
just
now. Parallel thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You discovered it, so naturally it's named after you.
It's
Not in the
called,
article.
yeah, aka Owl syndrome, since he named it.
Hulk.
While working with Leonard Skavorsky, Banner is temporarily cured by siphoning off his gamma radiation. Leonard himself exposed himself to some of this radiation, which gives him a superhumanly strong and muscular physique, and it causes his hair to grow long and turn green.
It's so funny. Everybody's always like, yo, let me have a taste of that
Right.
gamma radiation.
Like, this is some good gamma.
Right.
Don't bogart the gamma bomb.
Do not. Let me have some.
Before the radiation in his body eventually stabilized, his strength was proportionate to the length of his hair.
Like Samson from the Bible.
Like
Yes.
Samson. Conveniently enough, his mom had given the nickname of Samson to his father, Leonard Sr., because his father had long hair.
They're all we named the dog Indiana.
So Leonard Jr. Took on the moniker of Samson himself. Doc Samson's flirting with Betty Ross causes Banner to grow jealous and re-expose himself to the gamma radiation, becoming the Hulk again to battle Doc Samson.
Yeah, in this movie,
Oh Lord.
it was a little too much like Superman. You know, like take my powers away, bang Lois, get back in this chamber thing, get my powers back.
Yeah,
It's unnecessary.
Feeling guilty about his role in his patient's return to Hulkism, Samson would devote much of his time to working with Banner in years to come. He's a genius psychiatrist, not worthy of a whistle because he's not a general genius intellect, but he is a skilled combatant, technician, and inventor.
Aren't
He is
they all?
Yeah. He has superhuman strength and durability, immunity to earthly diseases, and a resistance to telepathy.
All right.
That's all I know about that.
Woo. Thank you, Al. Wow. I did not I had no idea that you he was that.
Oh,
That Phil Dunphy was a actual person.
Right.
Anyways,
There was, where was it? In reference to the comics and this movie, not just the characters. But the origin story that they had here in the movie was actually references Ultimate Marvel's take on the Hulk, which also had him created in an attempt to make super soldiers.
okay,
Right. Well, and they allude to Steve Rogers and that. Even right down to it got put on ice, the whole project.
Yeah, we get the Tony. All right, thanks, Al. So
There
I
was
just
a
there was a
sorry, yeah, it looked like you froze or I froze. There was a scene that didn't make it. It was filmed, but like Banner went up north to commit suicide. And there was a quick shot at the end of that scene that briefly showed Captain America frozen in the ice.
Oh, interesting.
They just pass each other.
All right. Okay. So thanks, Al. I wanted to briefly touch back on the Incredible Hulk TV series, which we did talk about a bit in our Hulk episode from 2003. But just briefly to recap that was probably the most successful Marvel property on screen prior to a lot of the probably prior to the Spider-Man movie, Raimi's Spider-Man. It ran for in one form or another from 1977 to 1991.
I remember being a kid, and on in general on Fridays, it would be that and the Dukes of Hazzard back to back.
Wow!
I remember being very excited for that.
Towards the end, it ran in the form of a bucket of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eagle.
Yes. So it started off with two TV movies, The Incredible Hulk, and The Return of the Incredible Hulk, both of which, Sex in the City and The Incredible Hulk, both of which were shown theatrically in other parts of the world, not in the U.S., so they did not make our original list, but they will be coming up on our extended list once we get through our main list. So
their interpretation of Daredevil wasn't bad. Their Hulk is very weird.
Well, I mean,
movie.
Yeah. Well, and his name was David Banner because in 1977, the name Bruce was synonymous with gay culture. So they thought everyone would think he was gay if he was named Bruce in 1977.
That is society is so fucking weird.
Yes, it is. The final, I guess 1990, not 1991. The final Hulk movie was in 1990. There was a series which ran 80 episodes and 5 different movies, counting the first 2, which I was just talking about. The last one was The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which was from 1990. A sixth TV movie was in production. It was going to be called Revenge of the Incredible Hulk, but it was canceled when Bill Bixby tragically passed away from cancer in 1993. So pour one out for Bill Bixby. He was a great David Banner.
He was.
That's that. This movie itself was originally going to be a sequel to Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk. Even going into production, they were considering it a soft sequel. They actually at one point made up a name, said it was a requel, which is half reboot, half sequel. Thank you, Hollywood, for doing that.
This might be a sort of a Mandela thing, but I feel like I remember at some point reading an article about Peter Skarsgård being the leader in a Hulk movie.
I don't know.
I made it up. All right. Okay, moving on.
Okay. So yeah, this let's see. So basically they were planning a sequel all along. Like as soon as Ang Lee's Hulk came out, Ang Lee very quickly said, "No, I'm not making another one of these." So he was out as director and or writer.
I think that's a good choice. We talked about it during the first Hulk movie. It was not the right movie for Ang Lee, who is quite an accomplished director.
Yeah, he was. Ang Lee's work is great, but it was weird and wrong. It was not a good fit. Abomination was going to be the main villain pretty much from the get-go. The leader was considered also. They decided when they really started getting going on this one to classify Ang Lee's as a parallel universe one-shot.
Okay.
Yeah. They have all, like, they were already classifying all this stuff and being like, this is canon and that's not, but then it's a parallel universe.
Right.
So it was directed by Louis Leterrier, who is a French filmmaker. He made the Transporter films, the 2010 Clash of the Titans, Now You See Me, and he was the showrunner for the Dark Crystal series from a couple of years ago. Yeah, I don't know. He seems to be just kind of a director for hire, as far as I can tell. Nothing super impressive.
Right.
He came on and he was offered this because it was originally offered to Jon Favreau, but no, I'm sorry. Louis Leterrier was originally offered Iron Man, but Jon Favreau came on board for Iron Man, and Marvel said, "Well, as a compromise prize, you can do Hulk."
Consolation prize.
Consolation prize, thank you. Yeah. They said they originally were looking at adapting Hulk Gray, which was Tim Sale's retelling of his first appearance.
He's a boat captain, right?
Yes. It was written. This film was written by Zach Penn, who did the X-Men movies. We've talked about him before. He'll get a credit on Avengers. However, when they hired on Edward Norton, not Ralph Cramden's friend Ed, but the actor Edward Norton, he also insisted that if he was going to star, he would get to do a rewrite on the script. And they said, sure. So Edward Norton rewrote the entire script without credit. He got paid for it, but he did not get a credit on it. I think that's because he is not in the writing guild, if I had to guess why.
Yeah, could be.
From what I read, most of Norton's rewrites had to do with dialogue, but the plot was mostly Zach Penn. That's why Penn got the credit. They said just changing the dialogue wasn't enough to give you full right.
I read briefly, that Tim Roth was saying Ed Norton was rewriting scenes daily.
Yeah.
Which is a nightmare.
Yeah. It is 100% a nightmare. And also, like, Edward Norton, dude, come on, bring it down a notch.
Yeah, exactly. This is why movies have directors. There needs to be a leader. You can't have some rogue agent rewriting the script every day from their trailer.
Oh.
Like, here, I've got pages. Fuck you, Ed. We're having lunch. What are you doing? You rewrote it?
So reportedly, Louis Leterrier's original choice for Bruce Banner was, in fact, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twist.
Apparently, Edward Norton was asked because of Fight Club. He plays two. He has the split personality thing.
Right.
So they were like, "Hey, you can do split personality. Come here and just stare blankly at the camera for an hour and a half." Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know this. I'm not a fan of the work he did on this film in particular.
Well, and Mark Ruffalo recently played two characters on an HBO miniseries, which was
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, right.
That was crazy. That miniseries was out of
incredible. But yeah. Ed Norton is not the only one with the ability to play two characters in one.
No.
Right. And I would argue
not that he played two characters.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that he did. That ends up being the twist in the climax of the movie, but he was his character and Brad Pitt was his character all the way through.
He plays a guy sleepwalking.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's it.
He didn't play two characters in Fight Club, and he didn't play two characters in this movie either.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen Primal Fear with Richard Gere? I think it's Primal Fear.
I've heard. No, I've never.
It's not. It's not good. And Edward Norton pretends to be this. I think he had associative. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he was supposed to be split personality, and it was not very.
Oh,
convincing.
that was his first movie. That was his first big movie. Yeah, Primal Fear. That's where he got his big start. He then of course
played a serial killer or something.
Yeah. That was his big break out of stage into film. Then he did Everyone Says I Love You, People versus Larry Flint, American History X. That was good. I mean, he was good in that, I thought.
Yeah, it's an incredible movie.
Yeah, chilling to the bone.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I honestly like him best in his what's his face? The Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson movies, yeah.
That's the Boy Scout leader, bumbling
Yeah.
idiot.
Yes. So all right. So Ed Norton, Lou Ferrigno did the vocal performance of Hulk throughout this.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So this is his third portrayal of Hulk.
Right.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hear he's a genuinely heart of gold, nice guy.
He strikes me as a really chill dude in every.
Well, it's like
thing
I've
I've
heard
seen him.
Norton is kind of a prick. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Lou Ferrigno is gentle giant Andre style.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've heard nothing but Ed Norton being hard to work with and full of himself.
Yeah, no doubt. He's in his trailer rewriting the script.
Right.
It's muy importante.
Wasn't he in Death to Smoochie? Wasn't that another one that he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Death to Smoochie. That one was okay. All right, so we got Lou.
I'm sorry, were you going to talk more about Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Oh, okay. All I wanted to say is this dude's still working. Like
Good.
a lot.
Yeah.
And he's looking good. That's all I wanted to say. 2020, he's still got stuff coming out.
Well, he was on King of Queens. He was also in I Love You Man with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
That's what
And he plays himself in that.
Nice.
Paul Rudd's trying to sell Lou Ferrigno's house. And there's a giant bronze statue of Lou in the yard. So that's something the buyer has to want.
I do.
Yeah.
I look for that when I'm looking at real estate.
How many statues of Lou Ferrigno does it have?
One. I'm not sure that's enough. Yeah. All right, so we've got Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. She got her start as one of the Aerosmith girls, along with our very own Batgirl. She was in Silent Fall, Empire Records. Empire Records. Was really good.
Yeah, she was cute in that.
Armageddon, and then of course she played Arwen Undomiel in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Bride of Aragorn.
I mean,
who
that
ruled
was
over
great.
Minas Tirith for 900 years.
I mean, you guys know the books better. Like, was that? She seemed like good casting.
She was
seemed
good.
Elven.
I think that's the best role she's ever played was Arwen, without question.
Yeah.
Cool.
Timmy Roth,
Hang
Mr.
on.
Roth.
One mention. Liv Tyler, we're gonna see her again in Super
Oh, that's right.
in
Oh,
a
yeah.
few months.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. Tim Roth.
Weird casting.
Yes. He was really big in a lot of that those like prestige British films in the 1980s. The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover, Vincent and Theo. Then, of course, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is a great movie and was nominated for our February monthly movie for the year 1990. I first became really aware of him as an actor in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
Mr. Orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Pulp Fiction, of course.
Exactly. Pulp Fiction. 4 Rooms. Oh, he was the bellboy. He was so good in that.
Yeah, he was the connecting piece. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in The Hateful Eight. Rob Roy. He's Tim Roth. You know who he is.
Roth. He's small in stature.
He's very small. I noticed that in this film. He is very small. Then we got
doesn't really matter. It's just an interesting choice.
yeah, it is. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. I for a second didn't recognize him because he didn't have a southern drawl.
Right.
He was Delmar, No Brother, Where Art Thou?
That's where I first saw him.
Yeah, that's the first place I became aware of him. He was in Holes. He was Buster Scruggs.
Oh, Holes.
In the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. He was in Syriana, and of course, recently he's been playing Looking Glass in Watchmen, the series. Well,
he was also on Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh yeah,
a recurring character. Her stepfather. Yeah, he's really funny in that.
Yeah,
in this movie, without the southern accent, he sounds like Adam Driver to me. Like I closed my eyes and I just heard Adam Driver talking. It's weird.
All right, so Ty Burrell plays Leonard Sampson. He is best known as Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He actually did other things too, apparently. He was in Black Hawk Down, which I don't remember. Evolution, the David Duchovny film from 2001. Yeah, I don't know. That's the most interesting things he did, really. Dawn of the Dead.
That's
right. That's the first time I saw him. Yeah.
We got William Hurt. William Hurt. His first movie was Altered States, which is
that movie.
I watched that movie as a child, and it scarred me for life.
Yeah,
never forget it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And didn't he win an Academy Award for Kiss of the Spider Woman, or was that Raul Julia that got that? Anyways,
I don't know that he did.
He did.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He is the most phoned-in actor that I can name in the history of actors.
Absolutely. But he also got nominated for Children of a Lesser God, Broadcast News.
He was in the Big Chill.
Big Chill. History of Violence, AI.
Him and Edward Norton together on screen is just like a snooze fest, man.
Oh Lord, it is. Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. And then of course we've got a cameo by Robert RDJ himself as Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has a now I gotta wait for it. This movie has 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel is about fair. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And let's see.
It's interesting. It has a 67% on IMDb as well. 6.7 out of 10.
That's right where it is.
Crazy.
Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian wrote, "What Hulk smashed most? Hulk smashed all hope of interesting time in cinema."
Hulk smash our hearts.
Did we? I brought it up in conversation, but do we know why Ed Norton was recast with the Mark Ruffalo?
I still haven't looked into it too much. I was kind of going to leave that for Avengers.
Okay, gotcha.
Short version is that negotiations broke down between Norton and Marvel Studios.
I assume it's incredibly
probably over
expensive.
compensation. Yeah.
What again? A compensation, and I haven't looked into it, but I heard he wanted some sort of writing abilities on Avengers, and both Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige were like, no.
No.
Did you see your last movie? Do you watch those?
I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that Ed Norton also just wasn't feeling like being a team player. Like
he's difficult to work with.
He wanted to be a star.
Heard that.
Yeah, he's difficult to work with. Yeah,
He couldn't share starhood.